came into existence because of one problem and one problem only, and that was grooming of our young Sikhs, taking them away from the Sikh faith into other faiths. So back in 1998, we set up this organization because we had a massive problem up in the north, and during the years, even last year, we helped 284 families who had runaway children, or put it this way, they ended up in university. After 1 year, they never showed back home. They didn't go back home. It's a very serious matter, and I hope you pay attention. Just to have a little marker on the knowledge of your Sikhi first, and I presume this is a Sikh society, is it? Yeah. Okay. How many gurus do we have? And this is a Sikh society. And if this is the last one, then I don't know what you've been doing for the weeks that you've been coming to the Sikh society. So how many gurus do we have? Put your hands up.
11.
Okay, we got figure of 11. Any more? Higher, lower, higher? No? No more than that. Well, we'll give you the answer afterwards. But just one person shouted out. And this is why as Sikhs we've got a massive problem. We don't even know the basics of our own religion. And that really is a problem. If you haven't got the knowledge, you're in trouble. Okay, today's program, Snakes in Suits. We've done it across the universities up in the north, south, and this particular program's gone into, about 3 years. We've done a university degree at Liverpool University on studying this very phenomena of brainwashing, thought reform and stuff like that for 3 years. And this is part and parcel of some of the information that we came across during our studies. So we're going to give you, I'll say this straight away, you are at risk. And we're going to give you facts that you should know so that you could protect yourselves and maybe protect your brothers and sisters, friends, whoever, because when this kind of thing hits you, it can really destroy your life, not just your life, but also the people, your loved ones, your families and everything like that. I'm sure you've come across a video on the internet where there's a mother crying on the internet wanting her daughter back. A 5-minute video which has had about a good 80,000 hits. So it does really rip up families apart. We're here to inform you and warn you about certain people, certain techniques, so that you're aware. So when these techniques are applied to you, you can actually step back and you might not get caught up in the web. Okay? As my young friend said, we're here, we're not against any belief system, we're not against any religion, but we're concerned with the methods used to induce people, covert or overt, okay? We're here because we're opposed to coercive tactics. We're here because people outside are not genuine and they're manipulators. Now, Sikh Awareness Society. The key word here is awareness. And awareness in Punjabi simply means jagrana, jagrata, waking up. And throughout the Guru Granth Sahib Ji, Maharaj talks about waking up, because most of us, we sleepwalk through life. We tend to just sleepwalk through life. We think we're awake, but sutte pe. So as Mara says, Jag leho re mana jag leho kahan gafil soya. Wake up, wake up. Sikh, jag, wake up. And why Maharaj is asking us to wake up? Because it's easy to take something away from somebody who's asleep. It's easy to steal from somebody who's asleep. As Maharaj says, Jo jage se ubare sutte gaya mohai, those that remain asleep are looted. Those that remain awake are saved. Okay? Unfortunately, this is the last we've come towards the last of the talks, but these normally talks should be in the beginning of your semester year so that you have the tools to protect yourselves. And as Maharaj says, Kach bigadiyo nahi ajo jag, nothing has been lost yet. All we need to do is to wake up. Okay, so the whole process here is just to wake you up to the problems that we have out there, the techniques that are used, so that you could protect yourselves. Now, at the moment, we live like this animal. And I'm sure you know it's an ostrich. And there's a common sort of a thing with the ostrich, and most of you might know, is that when it's in danger, it doesn't run away, but it just sinks his head, buries his head in the sand. It is, according to its psychology, it can't see the danger, it can't hear the danger. So according to it, the danger's gone away. But what's happened here is when you do that, you switch off your senses, the danger has increased tenfold. You're open to attack from all sides. And this is the way we are at the moment. We're like we've got our heads buried in the sand. And we can be attacked from any side. So awareness is the key. Awareness that sociopaths exist. Awareness of their ploys and tricks. And basically that's it. I don't want to go through all that. We've got an hour and we've got a lot to cover, so we'll move on to the next slide. Okay, what is this religious sociopath? Some of the charm, superficial charm, they're very smooth, very engaging. That's where you get the title, Snakes in Suits. They don't look like Hannibal Lecter from that film. Say again? Silence of the? Well, you knew more about Silence of the Lamb than you knew about your gurus. Okay? So the religious sociopaths, they don't, they're not like Hannibal Lecter. They don't look ugly. They don't look, they're not, you can't spot them from a mile. They're just exactly like yourselves. They have superficial charm, engaging, charming, slick. They're not shy. They're self-conscious. And they're not afraid to say anything. Looking good, acting nice on the surface. That's what they are. That's why they're very hard to spot. Very hard to spot. They have a grossly inflated view of themselves. They have a grossly inflated view of their religion, their self-worth, they're cocky, all the things that you see out on the street. They're pathological liars. They can be high, moderate, but I tell you what, they all lie. And if you can spot when somebody's lying to you, that is the best defense that you'll have. Manipulative, dishonest, underhanded, all these. Lack of remorse or guilt, They don't have guilt. They have a target. Like the lion sees his prey in the jungle. They have a target. And they will target you. And they have no remorse. They have no guilt. Their object is to get to you by hook or by crook. They have shallow emotions. They'll show the warmth, they'll show the joy, they'll show the love. But you know what? They're completely empty inside. It's all an act. There's other related qualities. Obviously, we haven't got sort of time to go through them, all of them, because this particular program, when we sort of teach people, it's a 24-hour long program. We have 2-hour classes when we're teaching at various places. So it's a 12-week program that we're going to try to cram in an hour. Okay? If you don't understand anything at the end of it, please do put your hands up or make notes on your pads or paper, and then you can ask us questions afterwards. One of the main things is the goal is of enslavement of their victims. Right? And once they've got your mind, and once they've got your heart, then they've got you. And once they've got your mind, they've got your body. Once they've got your heart, they've got your body. That's enslavement. You won't be able to think straight. Okay, so beware of the religious sociopath. They have no heart, no conscience, no remorse. Religious sociopaths are the masters of manipulation. Certain texts, I can't quote because I'm in a public building here today. Certain texts, according to their text, actually allows them to lie. Okay? And those who want to find out what that line is, I will tell them in private. And it's definitely found in their text. In 1970, there was a study, 3-day study in the Middle East on that one word, and the conclusion was, yes, they can lie to the non-believer. So they're the masters of manipulation. So before you give your love, your money, or your life, wake up, juggle, and spot the con. Okay? Sooner or later, you'll have a run-in with a religious sociopath. Many of you might have already had one. The reason why I'm saying that, a study in America says 1 in 25 is a sociopath. Okay? A study in the UK says that 1 in 10 is a sociopath. So you got a 1 in 10 chance of meeting them, 1 in 10 chance of being enslaved by them. That's not very good odds. There are just too many of them. Religious sociopaths roam through all parts of societies, all areas of the country. It's not a particular problem in a part of the country, it's everywhere. All walks of life. He or she might be just around the corner from you. He or she might be living next door to you. He or she might be living in the dorms next to you. He or she might be in your class. But mark my words, they're there. And they're eyeing up their prey. So once they got you, you'll have them like a puppet on a string. And then once you lose this and you lose that, you've lost control of your life. You're actually okay? There's only one way to protect yourself from the religious sociopath, and that is you must know what they are. You put your guard up when you start seeing these symptoms. Like I said, he or she might just be around the corner. The biggest downfall that as a community that we have is that we like the label Sikh, yes, he's Sikh here, but really lack of knowledge on our behalf on the Sikh religion is zero. I mean, I just asked you a very basic question today, which I think when my son was 4 years old, 3-year-old, he was answering me because I was teaching him. Okay? But you guys are 21, 22, 18, 19-year-olds, and you found that very hard to answer that. And even the guy who answered it to me was wrong, I'll tell you that. Okay? So lack of knowledge on your own faith, lack of knowledge on your own religion, it's a massive downer. And it's very easy to manipulate you if you don't have the knowledge on a subject. It's very easy to get to you if you're blank. It's easy to write something on a blank piece of paper. But if you're blank, it's very easy to write something, a new set of values into you, and program you in a new way. Okay, religious sociopaths are con artists, and I'm going to give you the complete idiot's guide to love, frauds, and cons. Okay? Now everyone should be able to understand that. We've brought it down to a simple language that every one of you will understand, and you probably, when I'm talking to you during the slides that to come, you'll probably know that you've been probably approached in the past as well, and you weren't aware of what was happening. Okay? So we'll give you the complete idiot's guide to love, frauds, and cons. Lavish flattery. That's the first one. You know, if you've just met someone who is overwhelming you, you look nice today. You know what I mean? You might be 20 stone in weight, and somebody comes to you and says, that's being fake nice. Okay? That is flattery. You know why that works? Because it appeals to your ego. कि मैनू किसी ने सोना किया, मैनू किसी ने सोनी किया, और साची चौड़ी हो जाती है. You have a little bounce in your walk. You know, somebody's appreciating me. You might get someone with low self-esteem, somebody who's on a downer because nobody's really spoken to her or him in that way. And you're in a university campus. Nobody's really come up to you and said you're nice looking or something, and somebody approaches you and you say, oh, you know what? It's only like me. And there again, that grossly inflated ego and this happened. We were dealing with a case a couple of years ago. Two sisters from one family. ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਸਿਸਟਰ ਸੀਗੀ ਉਹਦਾ ਗੋਰਾ ਚਿੱਟਾ ਰੰਗ ਸੀਗਾ, you know, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਸੁਨੱਖੀ ਸੀਗੀ, and the other one ਉਹਦਾ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਪੱਕਾ ਰੰਗ ਸੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਰਗਾ, bit dark like me. So every time the mother or the father or anybody, they used to praise that the older girl. एक काम बाव कर दिया, पढ़ दिया, कपड़ा काम कर दी, रोटी पानी पका ली, all the good. But with the other one, the younger one, she didn't get any praise or anything like that. Now when she moved to East London to university on, I think it was Queen Mary's. She went from the Midlands into London, and within 3 weeks, she was approached by one of these religious sociopaths. When we got involved, and when we got involved, we went to see the Bengali, and we just couldn't understand, how the hell did she fall for this guy? Okay, isn't it roti pakaiya ka? You see the tawa? And you think, how the hell did this guy manage? How the hell did this guy manage to take this young lady, and within 3 weeks, he was able to manipulate her, able to get into her head, able to get into her heart. It took us 1.5 years to get that girl back. But this only took him 3 weeks to do. And when we started talking to the girl, she actually told us the whole story. I was never appreciated at home. I felt pretty low. I felt I was never loved. And then this guy approached me in the university. I was away from home, and he showed me attention. Lavish flattery. You know, to Sony bought. And that Sony did not the mark fed them. You know what I mean? It's like a drug. Tell a woman you look nice. If you tell a woman, I get scared from my wife. When she wears something, a new suit, and she says, how do I look? Even if I don't like it, I say, you look nice. So she's happy. You know, and that's the way things work. Okay? Beware of fake nice. A lying tongue and a flattering mouth works ruins. It will ruin your life. Just imagine it took us 1.5 years to get that young lady back. Just imagine the heartache the parents suffered, the Ristedar suffered, and it was out in the community, in the you know, the wider family, and it took her many years to actually settle back into the community and have the confidence to go to family functions and everything like that. It just really, it took about 4 or 5 years out of her life, but she was lucky. She came out of it. There are many that don't make it back out. So watch for fake nice. You know what you look like. You look yourself in the mirror every day. You're sorry at the sorry as your name to name. If you're fat, if you're overweight, somebody says, "Oh, you looking slim," you know they're lying. You know what I mean? You know what you are. You spend a lot of time in front of the mirrors. You know what you look like. So you don't need anybody else to tell you what you look like or stuff like that. All right. And I'm rushing through this because obviously we've got an hour. Love bombing. Okay. It's a term that we've used, and it's very big around the world. It's very, very big. You know, you have the word jihad, which is war. Then you have, this is a war. This is a simple war. This is a war. And they'll love bomb you. You know, they're bombing you with love, basically. And it gets, again, it's so easy to get inside somebody's head when you're constantly telling them, oh, I love you, and they're pestering you, and because you live in cloud cuckoo land, and you've been brought up on this food of Bollywood, and a young girl and a young boy goes to college first 3 days, he sings a song, she sings a song back, and they fall in love, and you have a happy ending after 3 hours. First of all, the parents don't agree, and then they think they bother after about 10 songs, and so many suit changes, you have a happy ending. And you've been brought up on that sort of mentality. Okay, everything is sort of all make-believe. It's all filmala kam, it's going to happen to you. Wrong. Some of it ends up in massive disasters. This is a mass delusion, mass hysteria, operating under a master plan. Okay? The way to get into your heart, I mean, I know how men think. You get a nice looking girl coming up to you, approaching you, and she wants to date you. The male person's not going to say no. He'll go for a date. I know our boys. Okay? We've been through the university life. You're right, your mom on the phone on the other side, you're 100 miles away from home, and you're talking to your mom and your mom says, what are you doing? She says, Mom, I've just finished the cooking, I've just ate, I've just done a bit of revision, and I'm going to tuck myself and I'm going to go to bed. Next thing you know, you're on Broad Street. We know it works. We know it happens. Okay? We know it happens. So love bombing involves sexual attraction. They'll have the most good-looking guy approaching you. They'll have the most good-looking girl approaching you. And you know what? Good-looking people attract people. Now, who wants to be around an ugly person? Because that's what you've been. That's what you've been given. That's in your system. You've been programmed. You have actually been programmed that way. You would want to be with another good-looking person. Right? So males to recruit lone females, females to recruit lone male. Many young women become attracted to young polished male missionaries. They use sexual attraction to convert members of the opposite sex, which may or may not result in marriage. It does, but then when you have marriage with them, you have to change your faith. You have to change your religion. And that becomes a big conflict. They just change your set of beliefs. And the reason why they work on girls is because girls, if they get to another faith, they're not going to give birth to Sikhs, they're going to give birth to that particular faith. They're stopping a line straight. So when they take one young lady, they're not just taking a lady or a young lady, they're taking your offsprings as well with it. Okay? That's how in a research about Dungi. Giving gifts. How do they get into your heart? Could be a box of chocolates there. You know? The flowers. Pester them with flowers. You know, and it's so easy. It's so easy. For those of us, I know there's one or two people that know me here. Please don't report this back to my wife. When my wife is angry with me, when she's told me to do something and I haven't done it, she won't shout at me or she won't sort of say anything. She'll give me the silent treatment. And as any man knows, when a woman gives you silent treatment, you've had it. Okay, you don't know what's going to be thrown at you. You're trying to avoid her. Because it's pretty intense when it comes to that sort of thing. After about 2-3 days, you can't take any more of it. So you go to the nearest flower shop, get a rose, and say, I love you. And that's what breaks the ice. And it gets into the heart of the person. Giving gifts is phenomenal. It's so easy to get into somebody's heart. So you go to a young girl and say, Ale bali galela, you know. It's so easy. It's that easy. It is basically that easy. And you know what? The first thing, after a couple of things, they'll give you a mobile phone or they'll give you some SIMs. And that is so that they can be in contact with you 24 hours a day. Okay, 24 hours a day, they've got you. They can talk to you. Basically, they've got you. So beware of anybody that you don't know, or you've known somebody for 3-4 weeks giving you boxes of chocolates or flowers or giving you gifts. just run a mile. You know? Run a mile. Don't take anything from anyone. I'm not going to cover the other side of things because there is something called, I don't know, you've heard of black magic and stuff like that, but some of it is that if you take something from someone, they might have done something on that particular thing. So once you wear it, then you get affected more by it. But obviously we haven't got time to cover that side. Maybe next year when if we come back, we'll talk about that particular part as well. So beware. Beware. Just watch. And I'm talking to boys as well. As if some young lady comes up to you out of the blue and starts talking to you very nice and being very nice to you and, you know, thinking you're Shah Rukh Khan or someone like that. Just run a mile because you don't look like Shah Rukh Khan. Okay. The goal is to make you feel special. The goal, love bombing, giving you gifts, fake noise, the goal is to make you feel special. And when you feel special, that the ego inflated away on you. And it's all to do with the ego. Maharaj says, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Hankar, the ego. Once that's inflated, it's very hard to control. And the ego is the king of the Panch Jhot. You know? So the goal is to make you feel special and spin a appealing yarn about how happy you will be, you know, with them. Life's gonna be pure bliss, anandi, you know what I mean? You're gonna have fun. You're gonna be out there partying every day and every, you know, stuff like that. And it doesn't really turn out like that. How your life will improve and blah blah blah. Your ideals, your dreams. They'll put so much in there that they will paint a picture that appeals to you. That appeals to you. So they will first of all get to know you, and then they will paint a picture that fits in with your thoughts. A tailor-made picture is painted for you. And they won't start talking about faith or religion until they actually got you. Once they've got your heart, you start listening more because once they've got the trust, once they've built the trust, they then got you. Building your trust. All these things that we've talked about, it's about building trust, it's about building your ego. When you trust someone, I bet you've told your best friend something very secret, and you haven't even told your parents or your cousins or anybody else because you trust your friends. But once they've built that trust with you, you're sharing your secrets with them, and then they can paint a picture of how to manipulate that and then take you on a journey. Intense eye contact. I'll tell you what, sociopaths have one weakness. You know, if somebody is looking at you, you know when we normally look at people, we will look at somebody and then maybe flick away for a couple of seconds and then look at somebody again. A sociopath, he will intensely stare at you because you're their prey. A John Ray, you know, as a lion sees his prey, he doesn't blink. He's staring at you. He's gonna get you, and you'll get that look in their eyes. Seriously, you'll get that look in their eyes. They're constantly monitoring you, constantly looking at you, and that's intense eye contact. Isolation. Once they've got your trust, once they've got your heart, once they've got your mind, then they start isolating you. They isolate you from your friends at uni. You know, or don't tell this to your family, or don't tell this to your friends. So they start isolating you from your friends, your family, and holi, tu ode jogi rehani. Ja o tere joga rehanda, ja tu ode jogi rehani. I think there was a Punjabi song as well, that lyric. So you only become, once they've started isolating you, you only become useful to that particular person. You only become useful to that particular person, and they separate you from your family, your friends. Holi holi tusi pehlo har hafte tusi apne ghar jande sige, then it comes 2 weeks, and then you're telling your mum and dad, well, I can't make it today. I've got so much work on, so I've got to spend the weekend doing I've got to hand in it, some papers that I'm supposed to do. And you holy start losing contact with your friends and your family, and then they've got you. They've got you told. And to de-brainwash somebody normally takes a good year. Normally takes a year. We've had 284 cases last year alone, not just from one city, but around the country. And we have over 400 counselors working with us at the SAS. And we've got a helpline, a 24-hour helpline, and we get inundated with calls. We're dealing with currently a young lad who shaved his beard and he cut his hair because he's fallen in love with a young lady, because he seems to look more beautiful without a daddy and stuff like that, and she's got him in a grip in East London. We're currently dealing with a case there. So we get cases, 1 or 2 cases every week, every single week. So it is a very serious problem. Okay, because we are Sikhs, we live in a bale society. And all that. That's what we live for at the moment. You know what I mean? Go to your Friday gigs and everything like that, or your Sunday gigs and Saturdays, whatever you have. You know what? Them grounds are the breeding grounds for stuff like that. I'm going to come to a real serious problem now. In clubs, listen, I'm not a dinosaur, which, you know, it didn't happen in my days. It happened in my days. We went to uni and it happened then as well. But you know what? We came out of it unscathed, and whatever knowledge that we have, we're passing on to you so you don't get affected by this kind of problem. Now, when you're going out to clubs and with groups and parties and stuff like that, just be aware. Just be aware. There's a drug out there, GHB is when you get charged, isn't it? GBH, no, GBH is when you get done. GHB, it's a drug. And that drug, you can buy 4 tablets for £5. So they don't have to spend millions. They don't have to spend thousands. They don't have to spend hundreds. They can just go out there on the street and buy a drug, and you have 4 tablets in that for £5. And you know what that drug does? If somebody put it into your drink while you're not looking, even if it's orange juice, your pani, it works a lot stronger when it comes in contact with alcohol. But if you put it in water, the color of the water doesn't change, nor will you taste it. But what will happen within 15 to 20 minutes, according to your metabolism rate, you will start losing control of your body. Your body will start to slow down, until your mind will be thinking, but your body won't actually react. So if you tell your body to move an arm, it won't, because it just slows you down completely. There's many street names. There's Ketiman, there's the name that I've said, and this is extreme. And 60% of 60% of last year's cases were according to this drug. And we work with an organization called the Rufi Foundation. And the Rufi Foundation, this is the nickname on the streets, Rufi. This is the only Goryandi organization that deals with these kind of crimes. And when somebody rings through on their hotline, and it's an Asian case, or especially an Indian case, they then they then give it to us to deal with. So the Sikh Awareness Society is working with the Rufi Foundation. We're also working with Scotland Yard. We're also working with various bodies, and I think about 8 weeks ago or 10 weeks ago, you can actually go onto the SAS website, just Google it and put Sikh Awareness Society, and you get onto the main page. 9-10 weeks ago, it was in the Times. 8 pages of the Times were actually devoted to gangs, and they were targeting white girls, young white girls. And the youngest case was a 12-year-old girl there. 17 girls reported it. And obviously these gangs got caught. Gangs are working in Holland. Gangs are working in the rest of Europe. Gangs are working here. If you go onto the SAS site, you will get the whole lowdown of how many gangs have been caught in grooming people, in converting people, and you'll know it's the same sort of people that keep coming forward, keep coming forward, keep coming forward. 90% of the grooming in this country is done by that particular group. Okay? So when you get something poured in your drink, just a word of advice. I know you're going out. I know you're not going to stop. You heard this uncle in a chola come down and says, don't go party and all that. I know you're not going to listen to it. Okay? But I'm just saying, be aware. You're young, and young people are hardwired to have risky behavior. It's a part and parcel of growing up. You're hardwired that way. Tadi wiring gal to hui hai. साडी भी हुई हुई सी पर साडी सिद्धि हो गई है. If you ever go out, I'll just say, never take a drink from anyone. And if you're out there as a group of people, if you've drank half your drink and you've gone to the bathroom, don't come back and drink it, because you don't know what's in that thing. Okay? It's always better to throw it away and order another one, because it only takes seconds to put it in. And according to the Rufi Foundation, this is not Sikh Awareness Society, this is the government working with the Rufi Foundation. They are saying, and it's really scary, that it's not the boys that are spiking girls' drinks, it's girls spiking girls' drinks. And the advantage then is taken by the boys. Okay? And 60% of these cases have come to us through that particular drug. So think before you drink. Socho. Never take a drink from anyone. Pama pani hove, pama orange juice hove, pama apple juice hove. And don't go for the whiskeys and everything like that, because I tell you what, within 10 minutes you'll be there. It comes to blackmail. From drugs to sex to blackmail to elite mind control, they've got you. Now if somebody has disabled you, he or she, whoever put it into your drink, can and will do anything with your body. You have no control over your body. You cannot fight them off. You have no strength. You have no coordination. So you are helpless. Okay? And the problem with this particular drug is that if you've realized that you've been abused and used, you've got to report it to the police within 12 hours. Because after 12 hours, it just completely disappears away from your body. And you, scientists or doctors or whoever you call it, will not be able to tell you whether you were drugged or not. Okay? Now I'm going to show you some pictures where we've gone into people's homes and tried to help our young girls bring them back out. And it is a very harrowing experience when you can see your daughter, because listen, hey, I could be sitting home with my daughter, my children, I've got 2 children, I don't really need to be here. I'm here because I have a concern. Mere Guru ne menu ye dasya gaya, my Guru Gobind Singh told me, that odi bhi ardaas hai sigi ke sukhi baso moro parwara. He'd already given his 4 sons up. What family is he talking about? He's talking about the wider Sikh family. Sukhi baso moro parwara. We're only living according to what my Gurus told me, and you are all my family. And I have a concern, because you're my daughters and sons. I can very easily be at home or sitting in the gurdwara eating kara prasad or whatever. But no, I have a concern. That's why we're going around the country. We had a tour in America. We're again going to America because it's a big growing problem in America and Canada. It started off in Malaysia and Singapore. Every 3rd and 4th generation of migrants will have that problem. Okay, this is one young lady. This is one young lady who, when we went into the house, there were over 500 photographs of her. Okay, and a video. And a video was put on last year, 2 years ago, on internet, which the police had to then remove. Okay? And this young lady suffered abuse for 3-4 years, and when she finally couldn't sort of handle what was happening to her, she then managed to get a note outside, and somebody called us and we got involved, and you know what? It's a very, very sad story, because even though the girl's back home, she's not there. And I'm going to tell you a story where she got into the drugs. She was a partying girl, started with drugs that were given free. Once you're hooked onto the drugs, then you got to pay for the drugs. And when you can't pay for the drugs, then what do? You get used and abused by anyone, so they give you free drugs. Okay? And this young lady was in a house in the north of Birmingham, and her story is that she was used by anybody coming from that country, whether he was an 80-year-old or a 70-year-old or a 17-year-old. And that's how serious it is. You make a mistake, for 2 seconds, you could lose your life. Could lose your life. This young lady is still in a hospital in Birmingham, in a mental institution. When you look at her, she looks normal. When you look into her eyes, you can see that she's completely empty. She wasn't just raped physically, they raped her soul. She got nothing there. Nothing there at all. Don't get trapped. There's another young lady. Now I can show you over the years and years of the work that we've done. And these are only the decent photographs that we can show you. We have case after case after case after case, and sometimes it just rips us apart because these are our daughters. Okay? And this is a young girl preparing to go out, and then in the car, and she's already been drugged. That's the back of the car, and that's the car itself. It just takes that much time. 15-20 minutes de vich na, you could lose your life as you know it. As you know it. Very, very serious matter. in the years that we've been working, we've actually helped 3 of our young ladies from the prostitution racket. Okay, they were all from London, but they were studying in Nottingham, up in Leicester, up in Birmingham. And you know what the prostitution sort of lifestyle is. Now we've spoken to one girl in Birmingham. She was earning up to £1,000 a week, but all of that was going to her pimps and on her drugs. And when we sort of photograph of her bailo, she looked very, very smart looking girl, you know, smart looking kuri. But when we sort of got to her, and she'd been on the game for 2 years, she was on the drugs, and Suki Dandavi Barnuai, she looked really, really in a bad state. In a very bad state. We call it Veshwa. It's a very, very hard thing. I don't know how many else there are upper youngsters doing this, but we've helped 3 women, 3 young ladies in the past 3-4 years. And we've got many other extreme cases which I could talk to you about all day long. So beware who you go out with. When you do go out, go out with groups, go out with people you trust, your friends, not the people that you've just known for 3 weeks or 4 weeks at a uni and you're having a good time, but someone you could really, really trust. And just beware that don't take anything from anyone. If you leave your drink unattended for 2 seconds, don't drink it. Sometimes, you know, we have a drink and then let's have a quick dance and come back and have a quick swig and then put it down and go back on the dance floor and you're bumping away and then you come back and you have a drink. You know, it could end up in trouble. You could end up seriously in trouble. These girls were lucky. That marriage gave them a life of hell for 3 years, but marriage also brought them back out. You might not be that lucky. You might not be that lucky. So avoid the looming catastrophe. Avoid it. Avoid it at all costs. The best way to protect yourself from a sociopath is to avoid him, to refuse any kind of contact or any communication. If you don't talk to them, they can't manipulate you. As soon as you give them the opportunity so they can talk to you, they got 1 foot in the door. Okay? So the best way is to avoid them completely, you know. Or even the phrase, talk to the hand and not the face or whatever. Just keep away and keep them at a distance. And talk to your own set of people, talk to your own people in the faith, have a good time, but just avoid them. That's the only truly effective method for dealing with them. If total avoidance is impossible, because obviously you're going to be in classrooms with them, you're going to be doing certain lectures with them, make plans to come as close as you can to total avoidance. Okay? And then avoid them. Avoid them. That's why Maharaj said, wake up. And this is not SAS, this is Guru Maharaj, Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji saying, Je jeeve, pat lathi jaye, sab haram jeta kich khaye. Je jeeve, it means that jeende ji in your life, jeende ji, pat means izzat, pat means honor. Ke je jeende ji tadi izzat nu hath pe gaya. The Maharaj says, even a grain of food that enters your mouth is gandagi, it's manure. This is the Shabd Guru Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji saying to us, Je jeeve, pat lathi jaye, sab haram. So avoid it. Okay. These are our helpline numbers. Be aware, be prepared, be enlightened. I know currently in this university we've got a problem with a young lady. Okay. Anybody, you can always contact us at the Sikh Awareness Society website. You can contact on the Sikh helpline, which is also on the website. And these 4 numbers, we deal with extreme cases, and we do make a commitment from the Sikh Awareness Society that if we get a call, we will send out a counsellor to you within 24 hours of receiving that call. And all that seva is free of charge. We don't charge that. We don't want to lose a daughter or a son because they weren't aware. Okay? Serious problem, and the case after case after case after case, we can go talk all the time. Now, as a young lad, when I was growing up, I went to the Gurdwara every week, did my Mattha Tek, had my prashad, but I actually didn't know what was going on in the Gurdwara myself. But I do remember this one Shabad that was always kept ringing in my head, and that is Maharaj says, Panth vase, main ujda, man chao kanera. This is Guru Gobind saying, the Panth vase, may the faith, may the Panth remain in high spirits. Panth vase, main ujda. And Maharaj says, main pava ujjad jawa. Mera pava sara kuch chal jaye, पर पंथ चढ़दी कला विच रहना चाहिदा इस तो वड्डा होर मन नूं चाओ की वसुला. Maharaj said that will make me the most happiest person in the world. This is Guru Gobind Singh Ji saying that the panth chढ़दी कला विच रहे. If I lose everything, then that still will make me the most happiest person, because I know that the Sikh panth chढ़दी कला विच. And you know, Maharaj Guru Gobind Singh Ji lived up to every word. If you follow Maharaj's life and what happened to Guru Gobind Singh Ji, then you'll know. And there was a time when he lived like a king at Anandpur Sahib. There was a time when he had to leave everything. Na Anandpur Sahib diya mahal wadiyan rahiyan, na Maharaj de kol neela ghoda reha, na Maharaj de hath baaj rahi. No, Maharaj didn't have all his families. His 2 sons were executed. He lost 2 at Chamkaur. He gave his family up, his mother up, everything up. And there was a time he was in the jungle, Machiwadi, the jungle. Nobody around him. And they said, a king of kings, Lamba Pya Maharaj on the ground, and he didn't have even shoes on. The feet were all bloodied. And Maharaj couldn't move. But you know what? He did an ardas. And that ardas was Sukhi Baso Moro Parvara Sevak Sikh Sabe Karta. He's given his family up. Which family is he talking about? It's the Sikhs. So it's Sevadar. And you know what? When Pai Daya Singh met him in the jungle, they didn't have any transport, they didn't have anything. Pai Daya Singh carried Maharaj on his back. Aini Maharaj di कह लो कि कंडे पैरां च लगे सी, पर ओदी अरदास यही सीगी कि जेड़ा सिख पंथ आ, मेरी सिख परवारी आ, जेड़े सिख धर्म दे बच्चे आ बच्चियां वो चढ़दी कला विच रहन. Remain in high. And this is the reason why we're here. So that we can warn you and inform you so that you don't have to face anything like we just said. We've just given you 2 cases. I remember of a case, and you know, when people look at me and they say, oh, he's a fundamentalist, he doesn't know what the real world is. You know what I mean? Imposing his rules, you're not supposed to do this, not. You know, and people say that to us. Fundamentalist. But you know what? It makes me very proud I'm a fundamentalist. It was in a university up in University of Central London. We did a program, and a young lady who's a scientist got up and she says, "Uncle, you're a fundamentalist." And I said, "Beta, you may be the happiest man in this world. Because you're right, you're bang on. I am a fundamentalist." But let's understand this word, what a fundamentalist is. Mecca, what do you do? She had a 3-year degree and 4-year degree in science. She got a degree. I says, look, you and me, there's no difference. You believed in the fundamentals of what your teacher taught you. That's why you've got a degree at the end of it. So you followed whatever your teacher told you for 4 years, and you've got a degree. I follow what my guru tells me. What's the difference between you and me? You're a fundamentalist scientist, and I'm a fundamentalist. It's dharm di gall hai. There's nothing wrong with being a fundamentalist. Follow the fundamentals of your faith. That's all you have to do. We had a case where a young lady, very modern family, very modern family, and this bibi came up to me and she says, "Meri daughter di shadi, she's at a marriageable age." She came to the Gurdwara. Kendi, "Meri daughter di shadi jidda karni a, tade kol inne naujawan aunde a. You've got a lot of youngsters coming into your groups. Can you suggest someone?" I'm like, "No problem. We have, hundreds of young people come up to us. And why not if it helps somebody?" And I says, "Benji, let's have a look at the criteria. Only the CV card ke deti sari ini padi hui ya, ini degree ki thi ya, kar diya, o kar diya, sara kuch, मैं पढ़िया तो है नहीं सीखा उसके बाद just quickly glanced through it, and make a very good CV." And I said to her, "Can I ask you one important question?" And he, "Yeah, no problem." मैं कहा, "Penji, साडे कोल जिन्ने मुंडे आउंदे आ ना, उन्हां दे सारे दे केस आ. They all have long hair. Is that going to be a problem with your daughter?" कहती, "केसा तो मैनू नहीं पसंद, मेरी कुड़ी नू कित्थों आयू पसंद." She's coming to a Gurdwara. She's coming to a Gurdwara asking for help. ते जेड़े केसां दी जेड़ी मोहर आ साडी सिक्खी नू ओनू पसंद नहीं. And this young lady got married. She got married. And the mother went back to her and says, "Look, darling, you can choose anybody you want to get married to." जिद्दां अजकल मॉडर्न कर देंदे सारे साडियां तो अरेंज मैरिजां होईयां सी, "Here you are, there you are, here you are, तेरे करो that's what happened to us. I had one meeting with her at Bangla Sahib Gurdwara. God save me. And serious, I saw my wife for the first time at Bangla Sahib Gurdwara. Beautiful place to see her. And I did it at that. But now you've got, I'm a kudi nu melna, main onu melna, 6 mahine romance ya karna. And then you've got all that. And then in the end, you might not even get married to he or she. But this young lady, she was told, "Go out and find your partner." And you know what? Within 6 months, she found a partner. And she came back and she says, "Mom, I found the right person for me." And the mom, you have a glow on your face, very puri de. Lovely. And she says, "Oda naam kiya?" Oda kendi Simran. Simran Singh. Very nice name. Simran, yaad karna Paramatma. She was very happy. Kam ki karda, parda ki karda. "No, Mom, he has a business." Ooh, from that stage she went a duty hogi busy. You know? Meri kudi, she will rule. She will rule the rules. For the family, business, she can go on holidays, no lack of money, all the materialistic things all come in the package. You know? She says, why don't we invite the guy home? So they invited him home, and you know what? Up down there, you had the spring rolls and the samosa and everything. And this guy walked in alone. Alarm bells should have started ringing inside her head, the mother's head, but because she was living in cuckoo land, you know, it didn't. So she says, Miss Simran, where's your mum and dad? We've laid out all this, where's your family? And he says, Auntie, what had nothing to do with my family. I left home when I was 18, I made all this business myself, I've got nothing to do with my family. Auntie, what are you? You know what? My daughter's really going to rule because she hasn't got the extra luggage and the baggage of the father-in-law and the mother-in-law. Well, she doesn't have to look after the Buddha Khan. This girl will rule. She's got the money behind it, the guy's got the money behind it and everything else. So without even going into the family background, without even checking which family they were, they got married. And you know what? Within 11 months of the marriage, she actually found out that he wasn't Simran Singh. That guy changed his name by poll deed, and it only cost £300 to change your name, to change your identity. And it happened to be somebody else. And that case ended up in Birmingham Crown Court and the fraud thing. Inne vi modern na ho jiyo tusi jehda mud ke fir tangi kattani pave. Okay, don't become too modern. Mara mota apna control rakho. Okay? I mean, to be honest, you know, my Maharaj has actually freed me from all this garbage which is happening outside. He's actually freed me. I don't worry what color is in fashion. I don't worry if it's purple this year or green this year or red this year. You know, I have two bane, blue and white. I don't worry what style they are. I don't worry. I don't worry what hairstyles are in. Is it a bob? Is it skinhead or lambeya kuriyan? I don't worry. It doesn't affect me. I'm not slaves to the system. This is why Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj freed you. He completely freed you. You ever watch The Matrix? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Like I thought I heard something. The Matrix. Now this program, this film, was actually made on an experiment that NASA did in the early 40s. In the early 40s. And throughout the film, there's somebody controlling you, and you're all playing your little role. But if you take the red pill, you stay in the system. If you take the blue pill, you come out of the system. Okay? You're totally free. In the same way, Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj, he gave us the bana, he gave us the look, and he freed us totally, mind and body. Mind and body. So the more you go back into your faith, the more you will free yourself from the garbage which is outside, and the more that you have a shield to protect you from the outside forces. I remember when I was growing up, I used to watch this program called Star Trek. And the captain would always be sitting there, Captain Kirk, and whenever he was in trouble, he said, shields up, shield up, Sadi constantly shield up here with this bar. Sadi constantly shield up here for whatever Maharaj has given us. Okay? So, look into your faith a lot more, guys. And it's faith and dharam that will actually free you from all this. If you have knowledge on your own faith, if you practice what you've been told, then there is no better defense mechanism than that. Because if you're a person of faith, you're not going to be going in Broad Street on a Friday night and dancing away. You're not going to be doing that. You're going to be sitting home doing it. So you free yourself from dangerous spots. If you're a man of faith, you don't need somebody else to tell you, you don't need that. You know exactly who you are. You know, because Maharaj has given you that tip. Okay, that's the end. Obviously, it's a 12-week program that we've just condensed it into an hour lecture. I hope some of it you've taken in. The serious side is what I want you to take in. It is a very serious problem. You get caught into the trap, you might never be able to come back out. Okay? So avoid all the little things that we've told you. We don't want to repeat ourselves. Any questions? Is there any questions? Hanji?
On average, how many cases do you get from you?
When we first started, we were getting about 5 a week. And this was going to certain gurdwaras across the country. We have done 128 gurdwaras around the country. We've gone out into the sticks, into the countryside, where there's smaller gurdwaras as well. So we just don't concentrate on the big gurdwaras, we'll talk to people where there's 5 people sitting or 10 people sitting. But we've done 128 gurdwaras, we've done numerous universities, we've done a lot of colleges and schools, and grooming of our children. The youngest case that we've had is a 9-year-old girl. Okay, and we had a grooming of a young boy in Nottingham, a 12-year-old. So, it can sort of start from a very young age. But at university level, when you get to university, you've done your A levels and you've studied hard. As soon as you step foot inside the university, it's sort of all the brain sort of melts. The brain goes running and you don't even, you lose it completely. I'm totally free, I'm away from home, mommy and daddy are looking at me, I can do whatever I like. And you lose it all. You completely lose it all. And you know what, when you're at home, you've got the family backup system. When you walk, when my kid walk home, he comes in, I know if he's had a bad day or if she's had a good day, I know. But if you're away from your family, there's nobody there, the sport network's not there, you can get caught into this thing very, very, very easily. Any other questions? Anji?
Yeah, when you said religious sociopaths, when they actually approach people, obviously they want you to change faiths. Yeah. But what do they actually pick on? Is it the lack of knowledge of your own faith, or what are they?
But these are some of the fundamental things. If you are clueless about your faith, so it's very easy to manipulate you or put certain wording into your head, so you start doubting yourself. If you're a full cup, and this is what my wife gets annoyed with me all the time as well. When you have a cup in the sink, there's a cup, and I never go and wash karke the pay ode vich cha banani ya coffee. I'll go and get an empty cup because it's so much easier. Don't anything and I'm lazy in that department. So if you're a full cup with knowledge, you're not going to be sort of targeted because you have knowledge. You can question and answer. We can have a dialogue, a nice dialogue, not condemning each other, but you can have a nice dialogue. You'll have the answers. But if you're an empty cup, it's easy to fill up because you've got nothing there in the first place. Okay? So knowledge is a big factor. That's why I asked you that question in the beginning. Okay? So knowledge, lack of knowledge on your own culture, on your own religion, is a big problem. Whichever faith you're from, you must, you're born into a particular faith according to your Purvale karma, so that you can spiritually develop and go further. Any more questions?
So how do you know the difference between someone who's like genuinely nice and someone who's a sociopath?
That's you know, obviously we've only got an hour here, but when we do programs, we actually teach you, when somebody approaches you, you know, we got people to manipulate you, how easy you to manipulate. We'll have people, proper role plays, approaching you, being genuinely nice and fake nice. You can spot it a mile. You can spot it a mile. Once you know the tricks. We've only given you 10 there's another 18 things. So when the whole package comes, you can say one ticked, box ticks right, second box doesn't tick, third box doesn't tick, fourth doesn't tick, bloody hell, 5, 6, and 7, and 8 are ticking in the wrong boxes. I know it's not right. This is martial arts of the mind. You all do that kung fu stuff, but this is martial arts of the mind. All right. Any more questions? I mean, you can ask me any deeper questions if you feel that you can't sitting in the Sangha. We're going to be here for the next half an hour. You can personally come up to us and ask us. We're always saying that, guys, I'm here because I care. Now, if you care about yourselves, if you care about your brothers and sisters, if you care about your friends, then just be the ears and eyes for them, okay? So spot the mistakes. If they can't spot it, you spot them, make them aware what they're doing is probably not right, okay? And if there's any more questions? Huh? You see, if you find somebody who's given their heart and mind away, that is all critical thinking there. You get it? So you've got to go into their head. It's no good saying, no, don't do this. The more you say, the more they'll do it. Because that's what they've been taught. They've actually been taught, if somebody approaches and says, don't do this, reject it. So you've got to get into somebody's head through proper dialogue. Not condemning them, not being verbally abusive to them, you know, just being a friend, you get it? And do the best you can for he or she. Okay? Anything else? I mean, you can ask me something private. If it's a much harder thing that you want to know, then we can certainly help you afterwards. Put your hands up. How many gurus do we have? Okay, we have another figure 1. Any more? Higher, lower? 10. So we've had 1. Hey guys, we've had 1. We've had 10. And we've had 11. How many would say it's 1? Put your hands up if you think it's 1.
Or 13, there could be 13. 13. I'm saying 13. I'm saying 13.
Oh, you got no, let's put it all in the mix. Let's go put it in the mix. Let's put it all in the mix. We've got 4 numbers here. Okay, quiet. How many say 1? Put your hands up if you think it's 1. Okay, put your hands if you think it's 10. We have 1. Put your hands up if you think it's 11. Put your hands up if you think it's 13. Okay, and there's a lot of you who didn't even put your hands up. So you got no idea. And at least these were brave enough to say 1 and 10 and 11 and 12. 13 and whatever, or 45 as this young lady. 25, sorry, I just covered it. Apne Punjabiyan hai na dal eddi vadi bana di. Would you want to know what it was?
Yeah.
Hey?
Indeed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. 12. 12. How do you think I've come to that? Are you okay, somebody's got his hands up. Let's listen to him.
Is that how, like, when the first 10 ordinary gurus, 11th guru Maharaj, and then is impaired the first guru?
No. That's a good shot though. I'll give you 50%. It's a good shot. Good try. It's right at the back.
Okay, so you got the 10 gurus, you got the Guru Granth Sahib, and then the 12th one, the parents.
Oh, we'll just No, but a good guess. But a good guess. Huh? Not far. Oh, no. And you know, guys, we're approaching that day next month when it all happened. Young lady, you made my day. A bit of haggling and a bit of laughing gets you the right result. You have 10 gurus and Guru Granth and Guru Panth. Okay? And you know what? The Guru Panth actually came before the Guru Granth Sahib. Because in 1699, when Maharaj ne Khalsa Panth sajaya si, the Panj came back to Maharaj, and Maharaj ne Panja da hukum manya si because they were the Guru Panth. At Chamkaur Gadi, when 1 or 2 Sikhs asked Maharaj to leave, Maharaj wouldn't leave. But when the Panj came in their form, the Guru Panth, Maharaj had to leave. So the Guru Panth is your Guru as well. A Guru Panth, you know, Panj Pyare Kathe ho jande a, o apara, o bhi Guru Saman. Okay? And in the olden days, the Guru Panth was very prominent. Because it didn't suit the British, it sort of died out slowly because it wasn't promoted a lot. So we had 10 gurus and the Guru Granth Sahib, and that's what we've grown up with. But everybody forgets the Guru Panth. Anyway, guys and girls, it's been fun talking to you guys. The subject matter is a very serious matter. I hope you take in all what we've told you. Please be aware, because there might be no return from the damages that this kind of thing causes you. So from me to you, let's everybody say Fateh, and I want everybody to say Fateh together. Why?